like lions.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
And Phil.
What's up, guys? Dutchy talking in here. As always, God bless. Go first.
Let the celebration begin.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Eagles postgame show with Jack and Dalton. Proudly powered by TickPick, the official fan experience partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's take it to the show.
Let's go, baby. Is there anything as sweet as dropping the freaking hammer? I'm talking the hammer on the Cowboys. We didn't just beat these guys. We absolutely dismantled them. Final score of today's game, 41-7. What's going on, everybody? I'm Dalton. This is Jack from the 302 Birds Eagles postgame crew. Apologize for being a little bit later today. Myself and a few others were actually at the game. So we had to have the traffic of getting back to Delaware and all that fun stuff that you guys know about. But it was well worth the trip, well worth the traffic, well worth the wait for the Philadelphia Eagles to not only beat the Cowboys, beat the shit out of the Cowboys once this year, Jack. They beat the shit out of them twice this year.
Two freaking times. And this was a big win. We had all the bench players that, stood up, when we needed them most. And it was wonderful seeing them, score 41 points with two backup quarterbacks is amazing. And couldn't be happier. It kind of sucks. The Packers just lost to the Vikings, so it would have been nice for the Vikings to lose. But other than that, this team is playing on all cylinders. I think this team, I've always said this, they're legit. All that next man mentality, next man up mentality. And we saw that. And, we'll talk more about Saquon's big day for sure. But yeah, great win. 41-7. Can't believe it. Now we have the shitty Giants. I mean, the Giants had a fucking great game today. They won 35 or what? Was it 45 or something like that to 32?
They
which
had
is
an
crazy.
Unexpected win, which is like, it's kind of like, what are you doing for your draft pick sake? But typical for the Giants. Diving right into our game, though. Kenny Pickett, I thought overall had a pretty decent game for when he played. How did you feel about his performance?
Yeah, we expected what happened. I mean, he played great football today, and he kind of did what we needed him to do. No turnovers at all. Had some few long balls down to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. So, yeah, it's nice seeing a, reliable backup quarterback. Kind of better than what we saw last year with Marcus Mariota. But it's nice that we can rely on our depth at quarterback. And we were talking about it today. I really do think that the quarterback coach deserves a raise because, playing two backup quarterbacks and playing Kenny Pickett, is just – and having a win like we did today, he went 10 for 15, 143 yards with one touchdown. And yet if he had 3 carries for 3 yards, which is, a yard a carry. But, yeah, Kenny Pickett is a reliable backup quarterback. And, it goes to show how good this offensive line is and, how well he can trust his offensive line. And and Saquon, his receivers, it just seems like he is spreading the ball more freely to our receivers. He's not holding on the ball too long. I definitely think Jalen Hurts should take some notes because, Kenny Pickett had a rough few seasons in the NFL. And, playing today in a pretty not pivotal game, but a game like today and seeing what he did is all we need, honestly. It was nice to have somebody we can rely on.
Yeah, he looked solid out there. Like he was able to do what we needed him to do. like you said. And it's one of those things where he needed to be in command. He needed to be in control, and he was. So, very exciting. Dennis, appreciate you joining. Appreciate you for tailgate with us, man. I love you, brother. That was a fun time today. That tailgate, guys, the tailgate was just as dialed in as Kenny Pickett. Look, backup QB is not an easy job, right? Backup QB in Philadelphia, that's a way more difficult job. Because in this city, every breath you take, every shit you take, every step you take, that's how it is. Somebody's watching you. Somebody has something to say, positive or negative. The good news is after today, I think that it should be only positive for Kenny Pickett. I said in the comments right here, I'm calling him Wenny Wicket right now because he had a good day. He's doing good. And Hurts can take notes too. You see this comment here from Brian. Brian, what's going on from New Jersey? Appreciate you for joining the show. But he's saying, come on, man, Hurts take notes from Pickett. There are a couple things that Hurts can benefit from Pickett, especially with that long ball. That long ball to Devontae Smith looked really smooth today. And there was no disrespect to Jalen Hurts' long ball. He's got it too. But there's some things that Kenny Pickett does really well. And I think that should be almost trade bait too for other NFL teams that Howie can use of, hey, look at what this guy can do when you put really good wideouts in front of him. So we'll see. Speaking of, Smitty had a great day, a 2-touchdown day, right?
Yeah, 2 touchdowns and 6 receptions for 120 yards. Devontae Smith played great today. And, he got me a little nervous when he went down on injury with his wrist or whatever. But he's a reliable receiver. And seeing him work so well with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee is awesome. I mean, we got the ball to him when we needed to. And yeah, he's just shifty with the ball. He's a reliable receiver, and he's a receiver that, I would say one of the greatest of all time. I mean, this dude can go up for that ball. He had that deep reception that was insane. But yeah, I mean, this dude is legit, and it just blows my mind every day or every game with the shit he can do. Being so small and so not muscular like AJ Brown, and just him going up for that big ball and coming down with it is awesome. So, I mean, yeah, it's nice that he's healthy going into this playoff season. I think we'll see more out of him. Like we said, Jalen Hurts needs to utilize his receivers. He hasn't really been doing it that well this season at all. And we saw Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee utilizing those receivers because I think we are the best tandem at receiver. And we can see days like this happen religiously if we get the ball to, Smitty, if we get the ball to AJ Brown, and, just let them do what they are known to do. So, yeah, great game from him, and love seeing what he can do.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal day. He really stepped up because when you're starting QBs out, it's difficult for the entire offense to get a rhythm going. And it felt like because of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith today, there was no stoppage in the rhythm. First half, it was kind of the receivers getting the majority of the offense. Second half, it was Saquon Barkley stealing the show, as always. There was just a whole drive there in that third quarter where I think, I don't know what the exact breakdown was, but out of the plays, it was like 7 rushes and 1 pass we saw when Tanner McKee came in. And it was working. It was effective. They kept getting first down after first down. But in the first half, guess what was working? The pass game. Kenny Pickett looked like he spent some time with these guys throughout the week, and he understood where they would be. They talked about some things, and they game planned well as a whole. So shout out to Kellen Moore for that. Shout out to Kenny Pickett for that. Shout out to Devontae Smith and everybody that stepped up today. But Smitty was the one who, on paper, gets the benefit of today's results. Moving along now to our next topic, which was actually Saquon Barkley's great day. So I guess, Jack, you were the one who told me 101 yards now away from Dickerson's record. Do you think he'll break it?
Well, hey, look, this game against the Giants does not matter at all. We already clinched the East. We're already guaranteed. The worst we can do is 2 overall. So I would assume that we're going to utilize our starters kind of the first quarter, first half maybe, and then get our benches in. But I mean, hey, it was a big day. I mean, we saw in total, we only had 197 passing yards between Tanner McKee and Kenny Pickett. And then we just kept feeding the ball to Saquon Barkley. And I'm not sure if they were trying to get him closer to that record. But, I mean, he had 31 attempts today for 163 rushing yards. And, I mean, that's if the passing game isn't working or if you don't want to use it, we have Saquon Barkley. Like, he just popped off today. I wish he had a touchdown to seal the deal. But, yeah, I mean, this dude is playing MVP season, and just seeing what he can do compared to what he did, the past years. Granted, he still had 1,000 rushing yards when he was on the Giants, but just seeing how confident he is, knock on wood, he hasn't been injured at all this season. And I think it's due to our offensive line. And that's one thing that I know Saquon Barkley, he had a post-game interview. He would like to get that record, but he said that he didn't come to Philadelphia to break records. He came to Philadelphia to win games and do what he can do as a pivotal player to this offense. And that's good to see that his mind's not on that 2000 whatever breaking Dickerson's record. It's on winning the game that matters the most, and that's the Super Bowl. So he's, again, I think we'll utilize him in the first half next week. But, I mean, I don't think he's going to be upset if he doesn't get that 101 yards next week. So it'll be awesome to see it, but I truly don't think it really matters to him. And I mean, it'd be amazing for him to break the record against his old team. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how the game plan, operates, and see who's starting, who's not next week against the Giants.
Yeah, it would be insane for him to break that record against his former team. And the way that he's been running this year, it's been insane. We talked about it a little bit yesterday on our show, Sippin' Sports. If you guys haven't, come hang out with us on Saturday mornings, 10 o'clock in the morning. But we were talking about how Dickerson is really salty about Saquon taking his record. It's like, dude, come on. Be happy about it. That's the evolution of the game. And what Saquon Barkley is doing this year is definitely an evolution of the game. He looks insane. He looks mature. He looks tapped in. And he really has kind of evolved as that MVP candidate, that forefront favorite. It was funny today because shout out to Devin Caney. We appreciate you for what you do. But Devin was doing an interview with Saquon. And or somebody was, I think it was Devin, and she said something along the lines of, what do you think of your new hat? And he's like, oh, I didn't even notice it. It said NFC East Championships on it. And he's like, I didn't even know that this was a thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of a slight at the Giants, number one. But number two, like, he's not focused on that. He really doesn't care. Even when he was on the Giants, it was never about winning the NFC East. Even as much as a groundbreaking thing that would have been for the Giants, right, at the time. That would have been monumental. But no, it's always been one thing: Super Bowl. He's a team guy. So take notes, younger guys. Somebody who I think is a team guy overall, maybe he took Quinyon Mitchell's pick today, but that's a story for another day. But that first one, bro, that pick six, you can take it if you're going to do that. That was insane. Play of the year?
I wouldn't say play of the year. The play of the year is Saquon going backwards over that hurdle. That better be the play of the year. But yeah, CJ, going down on injury last week and then coming back in this week, ready to play games and not mouthing off like we're used to seeing him do. He didn't do much of that at all today. He kept his mouth shut, which is huge. But yeah, that pick six to start the drive, or not the drive, but was it the first? Yeah, it was the first drive for the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, I think it was like the first or second. I think it was the first drive, if not the second.
It was the first drive, and that's a great way to start the game, is taking to the house. And he had 2 picks today, but I think that second pick should have been Quinyon's. That would have been even better. But yeah, I mean, CJ, glad he's back. The only issue I have with him is him mouthing off way too much. And I don't know if you saw it when you're at the game, Dalton, but somebody that was mouthing off a lot was Sidney Brown. He got kicked out of the fucking game. And it just, I don't know if it's that mentality that CJ gives to his defensive backs, but I mean, seeing Sidney Brown, who, is that dog, didn't really do much today, but seeing him kind of mouth off and get kicked out of the game is awesome. And he kind of took the bullet for CJ. But yeah, I mean, great play. Nice way to start the game off. And then, they come down the second drive, they score a touchdown. But yeah, it was great to see that happen. I was with my family. We had family Christmas today, and we were at a apartment complex, like common area, and everyone just erupted in excitement and cheers when he picked that off. But yeah, I mean, it was a great play. He played his position. He really saw that ball into his hands. He wasn't overstepping the route. But yeah, I mean, great to see that happening, in the Kelly Green especially.
Yeah, he's a great ball hawk. He's really tapped in. And on that play, you saw it. That was all awareness. That was all mental. And like you said, it's cool to hear that common area of where you were at erupted, because Lincoln Financial Field erupted as well. Everyone, as soon as he picked off that ball, had a feeling. This ain't just a pick. He's fucking housing this shit. And like Jack said, what a way to set the tone for the game. For Eagles fans and for Cowboys fans. For Eagles fans of, hey, we're going to dominate you. It's going to be belt to ass all 4 quarters long. Now, it took them a little bit longer to get started than we wanted, but they pretty much dominated as a whole this game. And secondly, for the Cowboys, it was, hey, everything that you do, you're going to have to work 10 times hard for. We're not going to give you anything easy, whether it comes to yardage, whether it comes to offensive, defensive. Nothing's coming easy today. And it was funny because I was sitting there with Nolan, our graphic designer, and like we kind of look at each other and we're like, why are they running it? And then it clicked to me and I was like, oh, wait, they want to be done with this game. Like they've morally been defeated. It's over for them. They know that they're there to get their draft pick. They know that it's over. They know that the Cowboys are a dumpster fire of an organization right now and have zero hope, zero outlook, anything that they can do to really restore faith and joy in their fans. It's over for the Cowboys, man. And as an Eagles fan, it's so exciting to see, because guess what? It's been over. We know that, but they talk shit every year. So the fact that now the entire offseason, they're going to have to listen to us talk shit to them about it. It's going to be, oh, this and that and this and that and all these things. You know what I mean? Injury. No, you got your ass whooped. Eagles own you guys. So very exciting play as well. As soon as he picked it off, I was actually recording. We're going to get ready to upload that tomorrow. So follow us on Instagram at 302birds. If you guys don't, that would mean a ton. But I was casually recording, and then he ended up actually picking it off. So I got the whole thing all the way through, from reaction to pick. It was insane. But Jack, getting into our last topic right here, some questionable ejections. So Sidney Brown is somebody that usually has a pretty good head on his shoulders. I respect him. I like him a lot as a player, but he got ejected from the game. I didn't get to see why. What happened?
So I guess throughout the whole game, he was, jawing at the Cowboys players like constantly. And what happened, I'm not sure, I don't think he got a penalty, but what had happened in the second half, Cooper Rush threw a ball into the end zone, and obviously Sidney Brown or something like that. Sidney Brown blocked it or deflected it, and then all of a sudden, 2 of the receivers for the Cowboys picked him up and tossed him on the ground, or one guy threw him back on the ground. And then Sidney Brown got up and got the other guy, tossed him into the fucking stands like WWE, and then started throwing punches and shit like that. And I mean, again, I don't know what was said or what happened, because you don't really see that coming out of Sidney Brown. Like, he had some kind of fire in his belly, whether it was CJ getting injected last week, but he was just playing pretty aggressive against the Cowboys and mouthing off a lot. I think in the first half, he got into someone's face on a punt or something like that. But yeah, it was just constantly back and forth. threw punches, threw a guy into the stands, like on the railing, because you know how their seats are on the field, and then you can go on those stands and go up. Well, he threw him into those stands, and everyone just started coming and throwing punches and shit like that. So it was crazy. It was like UFC/WWE mixed. But yeah, I'm not sure. Again, you don't see that coming out of Sidney Brown ever. So something must have been said that he didn't like at all. So it was wild.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's insane.
Mhm.
Like you said, for Sidney, somebody that's very level-headed, as like he plays with an edge. Don't get me wrong. He'll put you on your ass. He's one of the hardest hitters on the team. But for somebody that's very level-headed as a whole, I know what you're saying. It's kind of surprising to hear that, because we were on our way back listening to WIP, and we heard the refs say it, and Merle Reese kind of just be like, I don't know what that was. So it seems like the refs as a whole today just had their heads up their ass. The fans were letting them know. That's for damn sure. But there were a lot of questionable moves today from them. Justin, just want to say I appreciate you joining us, brother. Justin is one of our editors. He is crushing it. He did a great job today, making sure we were able to capitalize on all that content we got today. Thank you, Justin. But that's all I wanted to say about the questionable ejections. I wanted to get into one more topic here, actually, with our guest, my guy Nolan, who was at the tailgate with us. So I'm going to take my headphones off here in the audio so that you guys can hear each other. But Nolan had never been to a tailgate in his life. So he's our editor, a.k.a. Birdgang Graphics from Massachusetts. And that was your first home tailgate today. So what was that experience like?
Man, it was awesome. Honestly, never been a part of something like that. Made the trip down here, and definitely was well worth it. Got a lot of great content, met a lot of pretty cool people as well. So yeah.
Yeah, Jack, I told him that was a pretty good tailgate to attend, right?
I wasn't there.
No, I mean like a Dallas home game.
Oh yeah, for
first
sure.
one, yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I told him,
for
I
sure.
said, you picked a good game to come to. And we took him over to 4th and John. Shout out to 4th and John. Showed him Gale, introduced him. So he got to see like what a legit ass tailgate looks like, you know?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And Nolan, it was a great game to go to because this was the first time since 2011 the Eagles swept the Cowboys. So that
I
was
was
huge.
I was like, I can't remember a time recently that we beat them that bad, 41.
And it's like both games this year were a fucking belt to ass wins for the Eagles. So great game to go to. I mean, I wish I went, but again, I had my family event going on, so I didn't want to miss out on them. But yeah, I mean, is that your first time ever in Philadelphia? Like at the Linc?
No, this is my 4th ever Eagles game I've been to.
Okay, nice.
Just didn't get to tailgate. He said I had been past a couple, but I'd never been to one. And I said, oh, get ready.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did you have a favorite part of the day?
Oh man, that pick 6 was electric. That was electric, man. CJ grabbed that thing. We all knew. Everyone knew he was housing that thing. I want to give a shout out to this play, which isn't going to get shown a lot, but that catch by AJ Brown, it wasn't a completed catch, but it was a one-handed catch in the end zone. Yeah. Had he get those feet down, that would have been one of the most craziest plays. Still, just to be able to make that grab, hold on to it.
A play that's not going to get much say is the Grant Calcaterra catch too. That was amazing.
Oh yeah,
too. That was because Grant Calcaterra is a good tight end, but we don't really utilize it in the deep ball. But that fucking grab was amazing, and I mean that's why I feel like as the Eagles tight ends, the past, with Brent Selleck, with Zach Ertz, with Dallas Goedert, they're all kind of the similar build as the one before them. So, I mean, it was nice to see Calcaterra get that ball deep and play that kind of mattered. So,
yeah, Dalton made a good point to me. He said, why are we worrying about drafting a tight end? We got Calcaterra. We got Goddard. Those are two very good weapons. I think Calcaterra is going to be utilized a lot more coming in the future.
Yeah, and I think that especially after today's catch he had, I think we'll see more receptions thrown in, or more receptions from Grant Calcaterra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looked like a stud. But overall, I mean, how would you rate your first tailgate experience?
Man, that was a 10 for me, honestly. Being around from where I'm from, I don't got this. I don't got all these Eagles fans around me. So being around people that, they think likewise as me, I really liked it. It was awesome, man.
Hell yeah. Well, you're welcome back anytime, my brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you for having us or joining us. But yeah, like I said, you're welcome back anytime. He helped me out a ton today, Jack, too, with recording. He got some insane photos. So stay tuned. Like, finally, Fridays are going to be set for the year. I'm just saying. But his content between him, me, KJ, it was really cool. We were running like a well-oiled machine. And the last thing I want to say before we wrap up here was there were like no Cowboys fans today, man. Like none. I counted the whole day. And not counting on purpose. Like it got to be like 11:30. And I was like, I've only seen 3 Cowboys fans.
Wow.
Total on the day, 7. That was it. I saw 7. So they didn't even, and look, I get it. Most people aren't going to wear their Cowboys fan jersey in the middle of Lincoln Financial Field. Like that's just asking for trouble. But still, you would have thought that them boys would have had more of a turnout. Shows you when their team fucking sucks and they got nothing to play for and nothing to, look forward to, that they give up. So I'm just saying, Cowboys, Lakers, and Yankees fans, get ready. It's going to be a long winter. Get ready.
Yeah. I mean, have fun sitting on the fucking couch, Cowboys fans. Enjoy seeing the Eagles make a run down the road and into the playoffs, because we're coming for that Super Bowl and we will get it some way, somehow. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to beat the Cowboys twice in 1 year and beat them by a fuck ton of points. It
might be 74 to 6 plus 74 to 13, I think, is the point differential this year for Eagles to Cowboys. That's an ass whooping.
No, because I was listening to WIP and they said 76 to 13.
76 to 13. Okay. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. Which I just this team, and then we can end the show, but this team, one thing I want to say is you played I've played a lot of Pokemon, the Game Boy games or whatever. And when you're fighting a gym leader, you want to have your best Pokemon, last to use. And I think that's kind of the mindset, not really, but this is my thought. The mindset of Kenny Pickett played very well today, right? And then he went down on injury, and then we had Tanner McKee. I think if he played that game, the whole game through, we would see something different. Because, he threw for his first and second career touchdowns in the NFL today. And it was funny because A.J. Brown obviously chucked that ball into the fans after he scored that touchdown with Tanner McKee. But that was his first throwing touchdown as a quarterback in the NFL. So, all this bullshit you say, oh, man, A.J. Brown's a diva, A.J. Brown's a prima donna. What happened at the end, he got the ball back. Big Dom went over, got the ball. And after the game, A.J. Brown gave his game-worn jersey, signed it, gave it to the fan that caught the ball that he threw in the end zone, and said, you can have this. So I think from that kind of moment, it shows you that A.J. Brown, yeah, he has been that diva, that prima donna receiver. But, today, that showed him, he cares about his team. He cares about the fan base. And I don't know. That was just something amazing to see. And I'm glad I was able to witness that. Because you don't see that coming from A.J. Brown a lot.
It was monumental. The whole day, start to finish. Couldn't have asked for better. Whether it was the weather, whether it was the Eagles doing their job on the field, or whether it was just content. We bumped into all the right people today. Of course, I can shout them all out. Dennis, of course, helping with the tailgate, holding it down. My dad, BG, Nolan, my girlfriend, Alyssa, everybody that helped out there. But just bumping into some legends, too, like E-Rock. We got to see E-Rock today, and KJ got to interview him. So stay tuned for that. We got a lot of content on the way. If you guys haven't, be sure to like, comment, subscribe so you stay in the loop, and give us a follow on all social media platforms at 302 302 birds so you can stay in the loop and check out what we're doing. But that's all we got. Giants, we'll be here next week for the postgame when to be determined, I guess.
Yeah, great fucking dominant win for the Eagles, 41-7. It's all been that next man up mentality this whole season. We saw that today. And we just clinched the NFC East. We have an easy game next week against the Giants, and then we got to prepare for the playoffs. So from here at 302 Birds, Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2025 coming on Wednesday. No, we're doing it Monday. So it's not going to be New Year's
Tomorrow,
yet.
we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. It's not going to be the New Year's yet. But from the post-game show, Happy New Year. We'll see you in the new year. And go fucking Birds, and let's get this dub. Without further ado, Josh isn't here. He's been in Florida all week. Hey, Josh. It's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
This is for you.
Hey, what's up, 302 Birds? I'm Jack. All roads lead through the playoffs and Phil.